10 projects that redrew routes, skylines, coastlines, and engineering limits. This countdown moves from number 10 to number 1, with each archive leading into the next. We begin with Panama Canal, how a megaproject changed the world. The Panama Canal, Spanish, Canal de Panama, is an artificial 82-kilometer, 51-mile, waterway in Panama that connects the Caribbean Sea with the Pacific Ocean. It cuts across the narrowest point of the Isthmus of Panama, and is a conduit for maritime trade between the Atlantic Ocean and the Pacific Ocean. Locks at each end lift ships up to Gatun Lake, an artificial freshwater lake 26 meters, 85 feet, above sea level, created by damming the Chagres River and Lake Alajula to reduce the amount of excavation work required for the canal. Locks then lower the ships at the other end. The scale of Panama Canal leads to Suez Canal, where engineers transformed a different part of the physical world. At number 9, Suez Canal, how a megaproject changed the world. The Suez Canal, Egyptian Arabic, Qanat as-Suwais, is an artificial sea-level waterway in Egypt, connecting the Mediterranean Sea to the Red Sea through the Isthmus of Suez and dividing Africa and Asia, and by extension, the Sinai Peninsula from the rest of Egypt. It is the border between Africa and Asia. The 193.30 km-long, 120.11 miles, canal is a key trade route between Europe and Asia. In 1858, French diplomat Ferdinand de Lesseps formed the Company de Suez for the express purpose of building the canal. Construction of the canal lasted from 1859 to 1869. The scale of Suez Canal leads to Erie Canal, where engineers transformed a different part of the physical world. At number 8, Erie Canal, how a megaproject changed the world. The Erie Canal is a historic canal in upstate New York that runs east-west between the Hudson River and Lake Erie. Completed in 1825, the canal was the first navigable waterway connecting the Atlantic Ocean to the upper Great Lakes above Niagara Falls, vastly reducing the costs of transporting people and goods across the Appalachians. The Erie Canal accelerated the settlement of the Great Lakes region, the westward expansion of the United States, and the economic ascendancy of New York State. A canal from the Hudson River to the Great Lakes was first proposed in the 1780s, but a formal survey was not conducted until 1808. The scale of Erie Canal leads to Eiffel Tower, where engineers transformed a different part of the physical world. At number 7, Eiffel Tower, how a megaproject changed the world. The Eiffel Tower, IFL, French, Tour Eiffel Tour Eiffel, is a lattice tower on the Champ de Mars in Paris, France. It is named after the engineer Gustave Eiffel, whose company designed and built the tower from 1887 to 1889. Locally nicknamed La Dame de Fer, French for Iron Lady, for its use of wrought iron, it was constructed as the centerpiece of the 1889 World's Fair, and to crown the centennial anniversary of the French Revolution. Although initially criticized by some of France's leading artists and intellectuals for its design, it has since become a global cultural icon of France and one of the most recognizable structures in the world. The scale of Eiffel Tower leads to Three Gorges Dam, where engineers transformed a different part of the physical world. At number 6, Three Gorges Dam, how a megaproject changed the world. The Three Gorges Dam, officially known as Yangtze River Three Gorges Water Conservancy Project, is a hydroelectric gravity dam that spans the Yangtze River near Sanduping in Yiling District, Yichang, Hubei Province, central China, downstream of the Three Gorges. It is also the world's largest power station by installed capacity, 22,500 megawatts. It generates 95 plus or minus 20 TWh of electricity per year on average, depending on the amount of precipitation in the river basin. After the monsoons of 2020, the dam produced nearly 112 TWh in a year, breaking the record of 103 TWh set by the Itaipu Dam in 2016. The dam's body, 185 meters high and 2,309 meters wide, was completed in 2006. The scale of Three Gorges Dam leads to Aswan Dam, where engineers transformed a different part of the physical world. At number 5, Aswan Dam, how a megaproject changed the world. The Aswan Dam, often called simply Aswan Dam, was built between 1960 and 1970 across the Nile in Aswan, Egypt. One of the world's largest embankment dams, it was developed by the Egyptian government with the help of the Soviet Union to control flooding, increase water storage for irrigation, and generate hydroelectricity. The dam was seen as pivotal to the country's industrialization plans. Like the Aswan Low Dam, which had been completed in 1902, the High Dam has changed the economy and culture of Egypt. When the Aswan High Dam was completed, it was the tallest earthen dam in the world, surpassing the Chattooga Dam in the United States. The scale of Aswan High Dam leads to Itapu Dam, where engineers transformed a different part of the physical world. At number 4, Itapu Dam, how a megaproject changed the world. The Itapu Dam, Guarani, Ijoko Itapu, Itijpu, Portuguese, Barragem de Itapu, Itijpu, Spanish, Represa de Itapu, Itijpu, is a hydroelectric dam on the Parana River located on the border between Brazil and Paraguay. It is the third largest hydroelectric dam in the world in terms of produced energy. The name, Itapu, was taken from an island that existed near the construction site. In the Guarani language, Itapu means the sounding stone. As of 2020, the Itapu Dam's hydroelectric power plant produced the second largest amount of electricity of any hydroelectric power plant in the world, with its electricity production being only surpassed by the Three Gorges Dam plant in China. The scale of Itapu Dam leads to Mille Viaduct, where engineers transformed a different part of the physical world. At number 3, Mille Viaduct, how a megaproject changed the world. The Mille Viaduct, French, Viaduc de Mille Viaduc de Millau, is a multi-span cable-stayed bridge completed in 2004 across the gorge valley of the Tarn near, west of, Millau in the Aveyron department in the Occitanie region, in southern France. The design team was led by engineer Michel Verlajou and English architect Norman Foster. Until late 2025, it stood as the tallest bridge in the world for over 2 decades, having a structural height of 343 meters, 1,125 feet. The Mille Viaduct is part of the A75-A71 autoroute axis from Paris to Béziers and Montpellier. The scale of Mille Viaduct leads to Sycon Tunnel, where engineers transformed a different part of the physical world. At number 2, Sycon Tunnel, how a megaproject changed the world. The Sycon Tunnel, Japanese, Sycon Tonaru or Sycon Zuido, is a 53.85 kilometer, 33.5 mile, dual-gauge railway tunnel in Japan, with a 23.3 kilometer, 14.5 mile, segment running beneath the seabed of the Tsugaru Strait, which separates Aomori Prefecture on Honshu, Japan's main island, from the northern island of Hokkaido. The tunnel's track level lies approximately 100 meters, 330 feet, below the seabed and 240 meters, 790 feet, below sea level. Following several decades of planning and construction, the tunnel opened on the 13th of March 1988. The Sycon Tunnel forms part of the standard-gauge Hokkaido Shinkansen as well as the narrow-gauge Kaikyo line operated by the Hokkaido Railway Company, Junior Hokkaido. The scale of Sycon Tunnel leads to Gotthard Base Tunnel, where engineers transformed a different part of the physical world. At number 1, Gotthard Base Tunnel, how a megaproject changed the world. The Gotthard Base Tunnel, GBT, German, Gotthardbasistunnel, Italian, Galleria di Base del San Gottardo, Romansch, Tunnel da Bossa dal Sogn Gotthard, is a railway tunnel through the Alps in Switzerland. It opened in June 2016 and full service began the following December. With a route length of 57.09 kilometers, 35.47 miles, it is the world's longest railway and deepest traffic tunnel and the first flat, low-level route through the Alps. Located at the heart of the Gotthard axis, it is the third tunnel to connect the cantons of Ui and Ticino, after the Gotthard Tunnel and the Gotthard Road Tunnel. That was Top 10 Megaprojects that reshaped the world. Every story in this countdown began as a shorter archive, but the connections only appear when the files are placed together. Subscribe for the next collection.